I don't realize sometimes how people understand or interpret what I'm doing. The glitter's all essentially powder. It's like creating pigments. All the tonal range is all just like manual, right? Versus, you take for granted you can blend two colors of paint and you have like a whole gradient of paint. But this is like 10 colors of glitter to create the same effect. I've tweeted different celebrities at different times, or I've messaged them on Instagram, and I offered to do portraits of them. So the first one that responded was Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton is just such like the queen of glitter in my opinion, so I thought that was really fitting. So my mom, dad, and my stepmom are all in the ballroom dance world and have been most of their lives, all of my life. And there was a big competition that happened annually in Vegas. So all the dancers, their dresses are covered in Swarovski crystals. At one point, I started to realize that the crystals would fall off the dresses. At the end of all the competitions, I was a little kid who was running around the dance floor, picking up the crystals and putting them in a cup and collecting them. And I remember feeling like that was like treasure to me. And I was putting them in my crafts, and someone asked me one day to do a portrait of their kid. At that point, I had to introduce the idea of like blending glitter. So I had only been working with sort of solid color blocks and crystals, and now I was trying to create more of a gradient and similar effects that you get with acrylic or oil paint. And that's when the concept for my portraiture really started to evolve and the techniques really developed from there. The larger the portrait, the more challenging, because wood panel is heavier and I have to work on the floor for hours. Getting the gradient right when it's a larger portrait is a lot more difficult. When it's smaller and I can sort of hold the whole portrait in my hand and maneuver it, small details at a time and kind of obsessing over them is how I do it. Try to come up with your own rules for things, because I think that's a big part of being an artist, is to know the rules but to break them, and to find your own unique way of expressing yourself and find your own techniques. That's like a really exciting process, is to like find your own way of doing things. And that's how I started learning to blend glitter. Nobody told me how to do it. In my head, I didn't even think it was possible, because I only knew that I could work with solid color blocks in the beginning. And it was just like the idea that inspired me to try it, push the boundaries, and find your unique way of expressing yourself. And that's what makes a true artist.